Oh, man, it's the quad box. Must mean that NFL Week 1 is upon us here. Dylan Corbett, Rob Lange, Matthew Crusen, Sebastian Urban. Let's get some thoughts on games that involve our teams, right? We'll start with the Falcons and the Eagles. The Falcons are favored. Bass, what is that? I was looking at our depth chart. I think we suck. And I usually get myself up every single year for the Falcons, like, I could, 10 wins at least, NFC South contender. I think this team sucks. Our second wide receiver is Russell Gage. Okay, fine, but it could have been Julio. Our third receiver is Olamide Zacchaeus.
Hold on. Your second receiver is Kyle Pitts.
Exactly. Second weapon. Sure.
No, he is a wide receiver. He will not put his hand in the dirt. He is a wide receiver.
How about this? Younghoe Koo might be a top 5 player on this team. He might be number 4. The defense is just decimated. So I don't understand why the Falcons are favored. There's going to be like no one at this game. They don't sell out ever. Bass, you've got Jalen Hurts at the helm and kind of a stupid head coach, but you got to be feeling pretty good about week 1.
How much are they favored by?
I think it's down to 3. Yeah.
Oh, so it should be a pretty close game. No, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I don't know much about Nick Sirianni. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I know he's from the Frank Wright, Doug Peterson coaching tree. And so he should run the team pretty similar to how Doug did. And hey, Doug won a Super Bowl, so
sure. What are we going to see from Devonta Smith and last year's first round pick Jalen Reagor, your boy?
Well, the good news is they're finally healthy. And healthy offensive line should give Hurts some time against that terrible Falcons defense. I think Smith's going to be a good prospect. I mean, I can speak for all Eagles fans, but we need one of these first round receivers to finally pay off. I mean, Arcega-Whiteside over Metcalf and Reagor over Justin Jefferson. So we need a hit on someone. Hopefully that's Smith.
Yeah, no kidding. So I like Jalen Hurts too. I think he's going to ball out. The total's kind of low for me, which is interesting because I feel like the Eagles is your defense banged up. I see a lot of questionable guys, so maybe that's why the total could possibly go over. But you thinking an Eagles upset on the road?
My heart's hoping for it, but my mind's saying probably not. I think the Falcons could take this one at home.
God, I hope. Matt Crusen, one of your biggest bets of the season, the Falcons under win total, surprisingly 7.5. I don't know where they got those 7 wins. Your thoughts on Atlanta?
I fully expected that number to be like 4.5 when I went to the book looking, and I was like, whoa, that's just that's too high. Like Sebas said it, the defense, it's not going to be good. I mean, and Arthur Smith is an offensive guy too. So you brought in a defensive minded guy to make like underperforming players better. So, I mean, I think the offense will be fine. Like I rudely interrupted you earlier, Kyle Pitts is not tight end. He is your second wide receiver. Yep. I truly think he will not put his hand in the dirt that much. He's not even listed as the starter on the depth chart.
Right.
It's still Hayden Hurst. So I think Hayden Hurst will play quite a bit at the same time with Pitts. And I mean, he's going to – so, I mean, in the red zone, there'll be a factor. He'll get all Julio's targets. But, yeah, I just don't see it. I think the gas is running out on Matty Ice. This could be his last year there. I know he still has contract, but they'd figure out a way to get rid of it. I could see it being like a Matt Stafford situation where he goes to a team trying to make one last push with a guy like him. He's not washed by any means, but he's running out of time. Eagles, I'm interested to see how they do. I think Devonta Smith will actually be a star and fairly quickly. All eyes on Jalen Hurts, though. I wanted the Bears to take him in the second round when he got drafted 2 years ago by the Eagles. Obviously, I'm fine with Justin Fields now, but I think Hurts is going to succeed in the league.
Yeah, Arthur Smith, his head coaching debut, you mentioned the defense. I think our defensive coordinator is former retiree Dean Pease. So we'll see how that one goes. Let's shift to the NFC North. Bobby Light with the Packers. Was there ever a point this offseason you didn't think Rodgers was going to be your quarterback this year?
No, not really. To be honest, I I basically just tuned out all of the Rodgers news. I just stopped paying attention to the news cycle whenever, he was brought up. It was just too stressful to think about it. You drive yourself crazy wondering. But I always had a feeling that he'd be coming back to play at least one more season, with us. But if he didn't, I was prepared to, roll Love out there and see how it goes. We still haven't really seen anything from him, but no, I always thought Rodgers would come back for one last dance, and I think it was a good decision. I think we've got the tools to make a serious run this year, so excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, you got to feel confident in the NFC North, I believe. They're bringing it back. Why did they do the Last Dance meme on their Instagram? It was like, Devontae, what have you won? What do you mean you're coming back for the Last Dance here? And then why did Aaron Rodgers, was the only reason he came back because they got Randall Cobb? That was a little fishy to me. Why not go for Julio? But he comes back to training camp, and all of a sudden it was because Randall Cobb got traded to the Packers. I
think it's because they got the Big Bang chick to host Jeopardy. So once he knew that gig was filled.
Yeah, he had to come back. His options were limited. And then his best buddy, Miles Teller, ended up being a bit of a character.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Instagram stories of him like looking at a waterfall with Shailene Woodley and stuff.
Right, of course. Squad goals. All right, let's get a pick against the Saints. I hate the Saints, but that's my Falcons fandom.
Saints, yeah.
No, Packers. Saints.
I think Packers are going to win Week 1. I know that Jameis got the LASIK; he can see now, but I still think that the same old Jameis tendencies are going to come out. He's going to be a little loose with the ball. I think Jair Alexander or Darnell Savage are probably going to pick him off at least once. And we're returning the number 1 quarterback and wide receiver PFF grades last year, Devontae and Rodgers, and I think they're going to have a big day. Front office manned up, went out, re-signed Aaron Jones, got him coming back. So the offense, it was the number 1 offense last year. We're returning a lot of all the key guys. Really, I think they're going to roll. We have some questions on the O-line. Bakhtiari, obviously, that crushing ACL tear at the end of last season. He's going to miss probably the first 6 weeks. Luckily, we've got Elton Jenkins, who is an absolute stud. We're going to move him over to left tackle. And then we're going to slot in a couple rookies. We also lost Corey Linsley to free agency. Got another Ohio State Buckeye, rookie Josh Myers to fill in at center. Heard some, not great things out of practice so far, but there's a learning curve with center in the NFL. The cadence, getting it down, I'm not too worried about it. We Packers have a good track history of developing O-linemen. And Royce Newman, 4th rounder out of Ole Miss, he's currently slotted in as the starting right guard for Week 1. And PFF had him the highest rated rookie offensive lineman of the preseason. Did not allow a quarterback pressure in pass protection in 86 snaps, elite grades in the run game. Really excited to see him move. If that O-line stays good, the offense is going to roll.
Yeah, good news for the offense indeed. I like the defense too, for what it's worth. Before we get to Matty Ice's Bears thoughts, Bass, looking at the board, do you have any best bets for the NFL Week 1?
Best bets for NFL Week 1. After the Zach Martin getting put on COVID,
start us off on Thursday.
I really like the Bucs -8 right now. I don't think that Cowboys offense is going to do much. I think they're going to pressure them, and to be honest, I think it should be like a 10.5 point spread.
Yeah, the Super Bowl champs opening up on Thursday night. Okay, one question for Matthew Ice here before we get to his analysis against the Rams. Is the reason they're going with Andy Dalton just so Justin Fields doesn't get eaten by Aaron Donald Week 1?
Maybe. There's a number of reasons that they've all tried to say. I don't know if I agree with any of them, but I don't really care either way. The one thing I've heard from a differing perspective, the like pro Fields crowd as well, but give it a chance with an average quarterback to see if Matt Nagy's offense works. The last 3 years we've been figuring out, is it Nagy or is it the quarterback? Is it a combination of both? They've had bottom 3 quarterback play in the entire league for the last 3 years, all of Matt Nagy's years. Andy Dalton has proven to be a very middle of the pack quarterback, which is better than what the Bears have had in the last 4 years. So maybe it works a little bit. What we don't want to see is for them to go to Fields too soon. Nagy's still the problem, but Fields is actually good and just bails them out. That's not a good combination. If he's not it, he needs to get out this year. Go hire Brian Dable, the Bills offense coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with it. Yes, there is people who say that Fields would just get eaten up alive by Aaron Donald week 1. You can't hide people from the NFL, You can't hide from people in the NFL. You're going to have to play them sooner or later. But it appears it all sets up for his week 4 debut against the Detroit Lions to put him in the best possible case scenario.
I like that. I love looking ahead for when you're going to start the quarterback.
And the other thing is week 3, they play the Bengals. Andy Dalton gets a little revenge game.
Revenge game.
So there's literally there's a ton of factors involved here.
Yeah.
But among them is they should.
How's your old line? Am I fair in saying it's a bit shaky?
Shaky for sure. Yep. Middle of the pack at best. Up the middle, they're good. Center, guard. But holy shit, the tackle. I mean, we have 39-year-old Jason Peters. We'll see if he's got any tread on those tires anymore. Maybe. But that's how bad it was looking in training camp, because their second-round pick, Tevin Jenkins, how did they get him in the second round? Everyone had a first-round grade on him. Well, yeah, he's a big man with back problems. He has fucking back surgery, and he's out for the season 2 weeks into training camp. Every NFL team is saying, yeah, we passed on him because he was like a top 15 talent. There's a reason we didn't take him. So there's that. They go out and sign Jason Peters 2 weeks ago, and he immediately slots in at starting left tackle because that's how bad it was. So we'll see. They do actually have decent skill players. I mean, Mooney's good. Robinson is really good. I think Montgomery's good. Damian Williams is a nice complimentary back. Cole Kmet could break out. They need him to break out because they need to hit on their picks. Bottom line is, though, the defense is getting old. It's running out of time. It's regressed the last 2 years. And what doesn't make sense is they keep pushing money back into future years. Like today, they reverted $5 million of what they owe Jimmy Graham to next year. Why are you doing that with a rookie contract? Like, that's the best contract to have, is a good rookie quarterback on a rookie contract.
Right.
See the Seattle Seahawks before they had to pay Russell Wilson. I don't know. I don't trust the management. I don't trust any of them. It's just a wait and see approach. I think they will lose 31-10 on Sunday Night Football. That's an alt-line game on the Rams.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I like the Rams, certainly. I'm still, maybe it's just me, I just have questions with Stafford and seeing how he'll do with his first new team since joining the NFL. Let's wrap up with some college football. Let's head to Ames, Iowa, the battle for Iowa. Rob Lange, are you looking forward to this game? Iowa State ranked in the top 10. They slip up a little bit, but get out with the win in week 1. I think I saw they're ranked now number 10 in most polls. They welcome in Iowa, who looked pretty darn good. What can we expect this weekend?
High hopes, low expectations. We've really struggled with Iowa in recent years. We struggled this past week against Northern Iowa, as you said, kind of snuck out with a win. I was actually kind of expecting that. I knew Northern Iowa would give them a tough game. They've given us tough games in the past, but this is certainly a game Iowa State can win. It'd be a huge statement game for me, a huge statement win if they did win. I'm hoping they can just keep it respectable. Iowa, as always, they've got the big hogs on both lines. So it's going to be about protecting Purdy, not forcing him to scramble, but giving him room to run when he can. That's when he's at his best. And on defense, it's going to be about putting pressure on the quarterback. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 1-touchdown game. But if I had to pick a team, I think Iowa's probably going to take it, though. I'm rooting hard for the Cyclones.
Always a battle. Boston College is going to roll UMass this weekend. Easy. Bass, do you have a college team or you just bet overall?
No, I wouldn't say I have a specific college team. I just kind of bet on the big matchups.
That's fire. So we'll be looking ahead to some big matchups this weekend. We'll probably get you on Corbet, see if you can get on the standings. Notre Dame escapes Florida State. Thoughts there, Matt? And then 16.5 favored against Toledo. Little short.
Kind of exactly what I expected against Florida State. I said this game is giving me vibes against when they lost to Texas 4 or 5 years ago on opening night, and it almost ended up going exactly like that. Cullen played better than I expected, but I still don't think he played as well as his stat line showed. He missed a couple of deep throws that should have been 2 more touchdowns in the first half. The defense, we got to see what it's like under Marcus Freeman, and he was extremely aggressive in the first half. Guys were flying around making plays. They got a big lead, and he went 2-3 down linemen and got absolutely gashed in the pretty much entire second half. So he's got a lot of learning to do, but I did see a small tidbit about that. If anyone knows how to beat Marcus Freeman's defense, it's Mike Norvell, because he beat him 2 or 3 times when he was at Memphis, and he's a good offensive mind. So take that for what it's worth. I'm excited for it, though. Kyle Hamilton's going to be a top 5 pick. If you haven't seen his interception yet, go look at it. He literally ran from the opposite hash mark and picked it off running out of bounds. He's an absolute freak. So I'm optimistic for the season. It's a completely different team. The O-line was shaky. That might be the worst O-line I've seen at Notre Dame have since I've been a fan the last 15 years. So that's something to keep an eye on. They're usually known for always having a dominant O-line, and they're going to have to work for it this year.
College football week 2 this weekend, NFL week 1, Sebastian Urban, Matt Crusen, Rob Lange, and Dylan Corbett. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you shortly.